Good morning. It is another day of working in the shop, and we are back on the spud truck today.
We have plenty to do, so let's get after it.
We're not completely moved back in the shop, so we're kind of going to be moving back in the shop, working on the truck. Plus, we got some tires to mount for the Banana, so we got a lot going on. The Banana's getting a little bit of a facelift. Raceline has these new wheels out. I don't even know what series they are, but they're super cool.
These are the Rhino RTs.
Yeah,
nice vintage.
What he said. So we're gonna be putting these on. We've also got a set for the MORR, and they're gonna be in the natural aluminum. So if you're having trouble telling the Banana apart from the MORR, it'll be easier now.
Oh yeah.
Bam! One shot.
First try, supersize, extra fries.
Yes, what did you say, Kobe?
I'm currently pulling another axle out of this thing. We do this quite often. I'm getting good at it.
Who's Baby Ruth?
That's mine.
I'm gonna take a bite of this.
See if it's any good.
It's frozen.
Yeah, I put it in the freezer.
Here, let me try it.
It's not any good.
Let's just share, why don't we?
It's like a rock.
That's what you get. So it turns out, if you leave a candy bar in the freezer, it just becomes hard candy.
We're gonna be laying strips right here, and we're gonna be cutting them at an angle like that. They can't go out too far because we don't want them to get into here, but they can go out pretty far. That make sense?
Gee, these are looking good. Little Patagonia, some race lines. Looking good. Now that's a good looking wheel and tire combination. Do you guys want to see the old versus the new? You guys have seen the old.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was loud.
Now you're out all over there. We need more hands.
We need more hands on deck. I know a man for the job.
Yeah, you're hitting too hard.
I'm just bashing.
He's very strong.
You
You gotta push down on that though. So, I have another story for you, Jake.
Okay.
Okay, once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a king. And one day in the king's courtyard, a gigantic bubble came down. And it filled his courtyard. And so he called for his most famous swordsman. And he says, I need you to come, I need you to slice this bubble. And the swordsman came, went out there, drew his razor sharp sword, started slicing away at the bubble. Nothing happened. So he's off with your head. And he called his most famous jouster, the sharpest point. He says, I need you to pop this bubble. So he shows up with his razor sharp, goes in there with his horse galloping, goes right through the bubble, doesn't pop it though.
Okay.
Off with his head. The king went through a dozen skilled, blacksmiths and all he could think of. And then he was at his wit's end, and a peasant child walked up to him and said, excuse me, sir, if you want to pop a bubble, you got to treat it like a bubble. And the king says, what do you mean? And he says, I'll show you. And so he walked up there, touched it with his finger, and the bubble popped. So,
Is this a bubble?
yes, you've got to treat it like a bubble.
I was here with my broadsword and my sharp pointy arrows, nothing.
Yep, there we go, we're ready again.
That's
I'm full of them.
That was actually decent. That's how my brain works.
So I'm not naturally a human. I have to learn, like mnemonics. I have these stories to remember how to be human. That's why I have a story for everything. Because I'm like, this is my catalog. How do humans act? Okay. All right, so Colin and Rhett are really excited about running in a derby. Where are you guys running, Manti? Manti. They're running the Manti Derby. So they were in here all week just using up my product.
Sorry.
We're putting stickers on them to say Matt's off-road.
Yeah, they decided to take sponsorship.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Okay, so this just needs to be grabbed.
All right, so we're trying to figure out ride height. What do we think about like a monster truck style ride height?
What is that, like a 25-inch lift?
The Corvair's got a 25-inch lift.
But with this lift, we could go compete in Monster Jam.
Cletus.
Like a mud truck.
You should just weld bars on the front like it is and leave the back stock.
Squat
It's
it?
just like,
Squat
Oh,
it.
Carolina squat?
yeah.
Sweet.
I called it the Georgia squat once. I got in big trouble. It's Carolina. All right, we're having a rendering done of Sweet Caroline. Look at that. Look how good Corvairs look lifted. I mean, they look good lowered, they look good stock, and they look good lifted. So we're gonna go out. He's asking how far the tires are gonna be out set, and I think we're doing like 86 inches hub to hub. Let's go see how those look on this. Oh, did you see this yet?
No, you've been hiding it from
I
us.
love the shock towers.
Doesn't that look good?
It's got speed holes and it's got them welded into the A pillars, and it looks like Matt took that out of an AHA video.
Oh yeah. Okay, look at this. 86. That's where the wheel mount is. That's the.
The wheel mount, like the
Yeah,
the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna
Yeah.
be spicy.
Like
No,
that's
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
like a
ask him a
buggy.
question.
Like those wheels are gonna be out
Yeah.
there.
So,
Yep.
Dad, did they just change the front end on Corvairs just like every car? They just do random changes?
No.
Oh, then why'd they change it?
Oh my goodness. This one's awesome.
Why'd they go from the 60s
Okay.
and then change it?
Because to sell a car, you have to be able to advertise a car, right?
Uh-huh.
And so one of the ways they advertise cars is trunk space, right? Like you'll see that like the Nissan has 2 cubic foot more than the Toyota.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Corvair in 1960 they put the spare tire in here, and there was a big complaint about storage space in them. Like the trunk space was all used up. So they moved the spare tire to the back, and they bulged this out to get a couple more cubic feet of trunk space.
Whoa. So this actual piece is different besides the emblem, the headlights, and the hood
Yeah,
on the 60s.
yeah.
That's
So the
crazy.
hood profile is exactly the same. You can put a 60 hood on something else.
And it's just missing that rib.
Yeah, it's just missing the rib. The bumper's the same.
Yeah. Like,
Really?
I would have never known the difference.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
you
me
think-
it's like
It's like a tidal wave.
Is that?
You're surfing the wave.
Yeah,
instead
but
of-
think
that
about
gap
this.
height.
You just
It's-
look at a
well, I cut the
Corvair.
inside
You don't know
down.
the difference yet. You're just kind of like, oh, it's another Corvair.
Yeah. And back here, you know that it's older than a 63 because these are Frenched in, so that's your first indication. The fact
Taillights. Oh, there's no.
the fact that there's no spare tire imprint right here lets you know that it's a 60. And also these are narrower.
Huh.
So get this burned into your head, and then let's go look at another Corvette. So do you see the spare tire imprint there?
Oh, yeah.
No way. So that's where your spare tire goes from factory.
So they did this.
Whoa. I've never seen.
That's the race car. We need to get that thing running and get some time trials on it.
The twin engine?
Yeah, we're gonna put 2 engines, front and rear. I think I've already told you guys that. We're gonna be working with Lawrence Tolman. You guys might remember him from Power Nation TV, but he's got a YouTube channel now, Lawrence Tolman. But we're gonna be turbocharging and twin engineing this. And I know we've already got some. I know that we mentioned it because I got a comment where somebody's like, "Twin engines don't work." Do you think I care? It's gonna be awesome. I don't care how scary it is to drive.
Morning, Ed.
Morning.
How you doing today?
Good. It's nice clear day, no wind. Gonna get hot again.
Well, she still runs good. It's running better and better. Oh, we found out it's not an exhaust leak. When the heads were machined, they machined too deep, and there's a hole actually in the combustion chamber. So the heads are junk. For those of you that don't know, we have the Golden Nugget die cast in stock on the website. And Ed's out here signing them. Ed, did you clock in?
I'm signing everything.
You got to make sure and send us a bill for all your extra time. Oh man, look at those. So if you guys haven't seen the Golden Nugget series, it is worth watching. There is a lot of content on it. This was the most fun job we've ever done. If you ask any of my crew member, old or new, anybody that was on that, they'll tell you this was their favorite job. And it was a lot of fun work is what it was. You can check out mattsoffroadrecovery.com, get your own Golden Nugget, hang it on the wall. Ed's signature. Let's see one with Ed's signature here. The Ed is what makes it good. All right, we're gonna be cutting this off and replacing it with the Ford Super Duty front end because that's what everything is. The steering, the suspension, all of it. But this is the mount, this cross member is what the core support mounts to that holds the whole front clip on. So we're gonna harvest this and then we're gonna attach it to the Super Duty. It'd be a lot easier to get this to fit to the Super Duty than get all the Super Duty stuff to fit to this frame. So we're not gonna be using this cross member probably, but I need it in here because when we cut this off, I just want that to kind of stabilize the frame and help hold it where it goes. All right, we've got all this stuff from Barnes 4-wheel drive. This is gonna be our anti-axle wrap bar setup. So we're gonna be using these, all of this to build an anti-wrap bar to keep the axles from doing this. Sand is really bad for getting the axle hop, and I'm sure we're gonna have some unless we do this. If you'd like to eliminate your axle hop, go to barnes4wheeldrive.com, get yourself some parts, and use the promo code MORR at checkout for 10% off. See you there. Okay, so here's the deal, Colin. Ow! 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 What happened? I got a hot needle tattoo, my goodness. Ugh.
He got stung by a bee.
Okay, Colin, when you weld this, you need to stir it like you're stick welding and you're trying to pull it, or else it won't stick to this.
Yeah.
30 inches. 34 inches. All right, so we've been looking at the pinion angle and the ride height and all that stuff. And this carrier bearing, we need to lift it up. This isn't the drive shaft or carrier bearing we're gonna be using, but we are using it kind of mock up and see what we can do. So we are gonna raise this about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, and see how everything looks.
All right, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna chop this, we're gonna raise it up and just kind of weld it in place.
I approve.
Slicing and dicing.
Okay, let's get that welder going. This is actually, you can weld that pretty good, Colin. This is actually some pretty critical geometry here. This isn't like, this is pretty advanced stuff. And we're just guessing. Okay. Let's run this thing up and down, and I want to see how much the ends of those move, because that's going to tell us if we were close or not.
Here, hold this.
Okay, go up. Okay, go down. How much is this moving? Oh, they're not moving very much at all. I think we're good. We need to take this Ford Super Duty and graft it onto the front of this Chevy frame, but it is too wide.
So we're gonna take 3.5 inches, chop it out of this Ford frame, shorten it up.
It's quitting time, but we'll be back tomorrow like this. I told you we'd be back in a snap. It is the next day. We're working on the spud truck. And I was gonna say, you may have noticed Caitlin's not here. That's because she's at Goldendale competing in an off-road event, which was and is true. But
I'm here for a second.
she's here for a second. She's on a big long vacation. You're going to Lake Powell next, right? For like boating.
Yeah.
What? A week. A week on Lake Powell. Oh man.
So she's just stopping in on her tour to say hi to the crew. We appreciate it.
What's up, guys? I didn't see you there. So, today I am finishing up these bars. These are for the anti-wrap and everything like that. So I'm welding these up. We're gonna get them on there. Hopefully they work. I'm trying to cross my fingers. Hopefully they work. They're a little thin, but if not, we can just build better ones, or we can reinforce these ones. We got some more plans coming up for these.
Okay, so Jordan got this thing cut, and then he trimmed about 3.5 inches out of it. And right now, what he's doing is, we got a jig that we're gonna set right here, and we're gonna tack this together, kind of in a precise manner, hopefully.
All right, so that put me on the job of cleaning up the frame right here. So when we plasma cut, it's not super smoky.
Man, it is noisy in the shop today. I don't actually remember how to get angles, but I'm just gonna guess it close.
This is fabrication on the fly. What we're doing here is trying to make some really cool looking angles. This is just a support bar, but we're gonna make it look the business. Okay, so this piece is good. Why am I standing like this? All right, so this piece is gonna go into that little gusset. I don't even know what the terminology is for this, fabrication lingo. So what I'm gonna do is chop that, and it's gonna sit flush. That'll do.
Let's go see if it fits.
Nice.
Okay.
We can just fill that in.
So just here. I'm gonna give you one more thing. So go like, so this is gonna sit here like this. Just go ahead and just clean that off. Right there. So just clean that off.
And that should fit in pretty nice.
And then that'll fit in there. We can weld it in. And then we'll put an angle that comes out here like that. Thick. And then that'll hold this in there.
All clean.
I want to show you something. I feel like I'm Papa Smurf and all the Smurfs are doing their jobs.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
Hey,
That's sketchy Smurf right there.
speaking of Smurfs, this guy right here was a Smurf for Halloween when he was younger.
You were a Smurf for Halloween? No, when I was a little kid, we had the dance festival. I'll see if we can find that picture. Let's see if we can find that picture.
Okay, that's the finished product right there. All we gotta do now is put this back hinge on here. My dad wants to be here for that, so until then, on to the next one.
All right, so it's lunchtime. Everybody's gone, they're out eating, and I was too excited because of the banana wheels. All right, so these are the OG race lines that we have, and they are great wheels, iconic classics, but there's always a new one. These are the new Rhino RTs. Let's mount them up. Hey Ed, what do you think of the new wheels?
Oh, they're great. Looking great. You've done a good job.
Thank you, Raceline.
Oh wow, those look good. Oh, don't pull them off.
We don't pull the stickers off around here?
No.
What's-
So any hot rodder knows that if you want to have bad luck with your tires, you peel the stickers off. You're supposed to burn them off.
You damage them
What?
when you pull them off.
Let me show you.
broken in properly.
Glad you came to the sticker funeral.
Those things are ready for the drag. Look at all
Had a Viking funeral, let it go up in smoke.
All right, so we've got this cut off where we think it should be. Need to polish it up. We got this mark where we think it should be. We're gonna cut this off, and then we're going to that's what we're gonna do. La 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 la.
Okay, as you guys saw, the frame got chopped, and now we have this all polished up. Jordan went and finished these all up. They're looking fresh and ready for this frame to be put in. So Matt's in the office doing office stuff. We got the frame mounted up, just kind of mocked where it's supposed to be. Rhett's over here working on the back brakes.
There's something wrong with this. On the other side, this bearing just slid right out and this thing's like grabbing it. This probably isn't good on the bearing, but gotta get it off.
Lined up, man, it appears to be lined up. That is so awesome. We're only a couple points off in degrees. I have no idea what that is in metric, but it's like the difference between that and that. I'm guessing.
Do you feel like wrong mating Ford and Chevy together?
No, I do it all the time.
You're not wah-ha-hawing?
No.
Oh.
This is status quo. If you want a good truck, you got to use all the parts from all the trucks.
All the good parts.
I'm not worried about this frame breaking in half. By the time we get it done, it's going to be super strong, and so should you. Okay, stop. Yeah. So I ordered these springs. I don't know if they're 2-inch lift or 3-inch lift or 4-inch lift. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter to me because we can cut coils to get them where we want them. All right. All the way. Let it sit on its weight. Okay. That's enough. Okay, it's definitely setting too tall.
But we don't want to mess with that till we get an engine in it, right?
Oh yeah, we won't mess. We'll get our final weight before we ever cut those. But I'm thinking this is gonna sit a little front high anyway.
Front high? I thought you wanted it a little front low.
If you want it to do good through the whoops.
Oh.
I would like it to set pretty level. But you can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes,
you get what you need.
You just might get what's need. This is Ford frame on a Chevy.
Hold your boy up.
Yeah. Yes, it does. We've got to put an LS in here, and I'm seeing nothing but just acres of room to do it. The motor's going to sit pretty high and pretty far back, so we can have a pretty serious shroud and fan system on this. If this truck's like the MORR, it will never have overheating problems, ever. The MORR
Gets just worked and worked.
Worked and worked. AC blasting, worked, and it just takes it. The Banana, on the other hand, will throw up a little bit of a protest every once in a while if you have the AC on. So I've got to think of exactly how we're going to fish plate this so it'll never crack and it'll never break. But it's the end of the day anyway. We will be back tomorrow, and it's going to be another beautiful day. Good morning, we are back. We got a couple things to do today. We're gonna be putting these links right here on the anti-wrap bars.
And I'm gonna be finishing this hub. So we get the brakes on there, bolt it all together, and then we just need to slide an axle through.
I'm gonna have Colin finish welding this inside and out because it's just kind of tacked there. And that'll get it so that it can at least carry its weight, but we've got a lot of fish plate and some engineering to do there. We're gonna have to pull the cab off to make sure to get it, you know, muy forte.
This axle got dropped, and I think there's something messed up.
There's nothing messed up.
Okay, I'm just not.
Oh, that needs to be cleaned.
So last night we had a little family gathering out here at the shop. Me, Rudy, and my dad were all looking at camshafts and talking about Corvairs. Rudy got to looking at the spud truck and decided he wanted this valve right here. This is for the tanks, dual tank system. He decided he wanted it, so I'm pulling it off for him so he can come pick it up. That's what we were after.
You'll slide this on here, but see, right, you can't set that on there. You have to get the bearing in there first. Once the bearing's in there, see how the bearing lifts it off and protects it? But the bearing's not gonna protect this next step, is it? Because the bearing's gonna be sitting on the low one and the seal's gonna be in the high one. So at this point, you kind of hold it in the center and you push that one on there. Okay, now get that gentle thing and tap that on there. All right, we get a lot of questions about the spud truck and the wrecker and who does what and why do they do it and where did they go? And I try to answer some of your questions on this, but we did a 2-hour question and answer. It's on the app, the Matt's Off-Road Recovery app. You should go check it out. If you've got all them questions, yeah, it's right here. So if you've got a lot of questions or you just want to be current on what's going on, you can go check it out. All right, well, I'm happy that we got this sitting on its own suspension. We could roll it. A strong guy could roll this truck in and out.
We need a crew.
Yeah. We're gonna be working on the spud truck like crazy. There's gonna be a lot of work done on this spud truck.
Spud truck's gonna be finished.
Look how tall this thing is. This is too tall. It's gonna be shorter like that. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Very babushka.
Now my head won't get burnt.
You look like a little babushka welder.
Exactly what I just said.
Oh, really?
Exactly what he just said.